Chant from verse 1. I'll chant and then you repeat after me since we are meeting after a break. Karturajñaya prapyate phalam. Karma kim param karma tajjadam. Kritimaho dadhau patana karanam. Halam shashvatam gati nirodhakam. Ishwararpitam nechaya kritam. Shodhakam mukti sadhakam. Kayavam manah karyamuttamam. Pujanam japaschintanam kramat. Jagata ishadhi yukta sevanam. Ashtamurti deva pujanam. We saw until here. You all remember what we saw? Kind of, sort of, no. Okay, so let us just do a little bit of review and then we will pick up from there. We're studying Upadesha Sara, and that is the essential teaching. This text is very beautiful because it talks about the 4 yogas: Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Raja Yoga, and then Jnana Yoga. Yoga means union. Yoga doesn't mean going to the yoga studio. Yoga means union. Union through action is called Karma Yoga. Union through devotion is called Bhakti Yoga. Union through meditation is called Raja Yoga or Ashtanga Yoga. Union through knowledge is called Jnana Yoga. And that union is uniting us to the higher, to our true being. For Karma Yoga, we saw two very important things that make Karma Yoga. You remember what that is? It's called Ishvara Arpana Buddhi and Prasada Buddhi. Means, first portion of Karma Yoga is selfless, dedicated service towards something higher, above me. And the second part of Karma Yoga is accepting whatever comes as prasad. So, equanimity, like the Mahatma we saw at the sun. Then we talked about Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga, there are three practices. The three practices are puja, japa, and chintana. And in puja, first we saw what puja was. It's a ritualistic worship, usually with 16 steps, of the deity. And the highest form of puja is when I see that deity, that Ishvara, in every single being. That's the highest form of puja. And now we're going to see the progression of japa. But before we go into that, just a little bit of a reminder or reflection on how important bhakti or devotion is in our lives. Sometimes we might think that we don't need this bhakti or devotion. But if we think about where we are today, we have three problems that plague us. The first problem is called mala. Mala means impurity. We surround ourselves with negativity. Either our own mind, our own negative thoughts like fear, anxiety, stress, or excessive exposure to news, or negative company, or just around negative atmospheres. We surround ourselves by that. And because we surround ourselves by that, the mind takes that form. The mind becomes negative because mind becomes what we surround ourselves by. So we have this impurity called mala in our minds. The second weakness that's plaguing us right now is called vikshepa. It's called distraction. It's a plague, right? Because of our excessive exposure to social media, excessive tasks that we take on, we become very distracted. It's hard for us to focus and concentrate and do one thing with full intention. And the third is avarana. We have become too extroverted. And we don't want to go within and see what is within us. We don't want to pierce the veil to go within us because we're just extroverted. So we just want to keep a busy life, keep ourselves active because we're afraid to be alone. What will happen if I am alone? And if I am silent? And if nobody's there? These three things are what we're experiencing now. And that's why there's a lot of mental health issues. Because this is what we surround ourselves with. Bhakti gets rid of all of this. This is how important devotion is. When we are devoted to Bhagavan, Bhagavati, our Ishta, our beloved form, it takes away mala, it takes away all the impurities. Because we surround ourselves with the stories of Bhagavan, the hymns, the praises, the bhajans, the kirtan. Our mind is taken to a whole new level. So it takes a different form. It's not surrounded by this negativity, it's surrounded by such divinity. And when we are in the realm of devotion, we learn how to avoid distraction and actually develop the ability to think, hold on to a thought, Because in bhakti we practice japa. And japa is nothing but holding on to a thought again and again and again and again, so deeply that I'm able to stay with it. So we also get rid of distraction. Those who chant in bhakti, we have to pay attention to Hanuman Chalisa, or when we're doing Gita Dhyanam. All of these things require a lot of focus. And in our tradition, we do by heart. Yeah? There's no read and chant. You close your eyes and you chant because we have to memorize it. Right? I don't know. I also went to school in Asia. There you can't read. You have to say everything. Kantasti, it has to be in your throat. So we develop that power of memory. Then in bhakti, there's no fear to pierce this avarna or this veil, meaning there's no fear to be alone and silent. Because the bhakta feels that when they're alone and silent, Bhagavan is really there with them. So they are not alone. And in fact, it is in silence that they can hear Bhagavan even deeper. So it's absolutely okay. So because we have bhakti, we're not prone to these issues. So a person who leads a life of devotion leads a very, very beautiful life. Blissful and divine life. And this is why we give such importance to bhakti in our tradition. Now we spoke about puja in the previous classes and the importance of having an Ishta Devata, a form of Bhagavan or Bhagavati that I really hold dear to me. It could also be the sun. It could also be the sun, and that's why we have Gayatri Mantra. So some people just feel fascinated because the sun is Pratyaksha Brahman. If somebody wanted to see Brahman, that ultimate reality, wanted to gaze at it, wanted to experience it as an object, our Rishi said the closest object to that ultimate reality is the sun. And so when we think and think and think about the sun, it reminds us of Brahman. So it could be whatever it is we want to think of. The sun, could think of the moon also, space as well, Om, the form of Sri Rama, Devi Durga, whatever it is, but have something which can hold and purify our mind. Now, when we do that, when we hold our mind to that object, we use these 4 techniques. So these 4 techniques now are given in verse number 6. And that is where we will start today. Uttamastavat uchamandataha Chittajam japa dhyanavuttamam. Together. Uttamastavat uchamandataha Chittajam japa dhyanavuttamam. So here it gives 4 ways to actually do japa. We spoke about puja now. It's actually the progression of japa. It says, uttama, superior, stavat. Then stuti is uccha japa, means loud chanting. And then superior to that, mandataha is soft japa. Superior to that is chittajam japa, mind-born japa. Japa dhyanam, the mental japa, uttamam, is the best. So to chant or sing the glories of Lord is good. But superior to that is loud japa. And superior to that is soft japa. And superior to soft japa is japa done by the mind. Mental japa is the subtlest. Now don't get too bogged down by this word superior. Superior just means here subtler. Subtler. Okay? So the first level, we're going from gross to subtlest, is called stuti. Stuti or stava. When we sing praises of Bhagavan. Now what are some examples of hymns of praise that you know? Or stotras? Hare Krishna, yeah, what else? Vishnu Sahasranama, very good. Yeah. Lalita Sahasranama, all our Sahasranamas, right? And Hanuman Chalisa, we also do, yeah. Gita Dhyanam, what we also chanted. So different stotrams are there. Different stotrams. There's Ganga Stotram, Shiva Panchakshara Stotram also. All of these stotrams are very beautiful and accessible to everyone. They're the most accessible. Why? What makes a stotram or a stuti accessible? Easy. What do you think makes it easy for us? Yeah?
Simplicity.
It's simple. Yeah. Simple. It is?
There are couplets.
They're couplets. Yeah. Yeah. It's accessible. It's couplets. Simple. And it has something which we all enjoy. It has music and it has variety. We need variety. Huh? Variety is the spice of life. So when we think of different stotrams, so I'll take Hanuman Chalisa, because that's something that we chant every week here. It's easy because it's easy to concentrate on that. There's different words, the tunes are going up and down, there's a rhythm to it, there's instruments, you hear the drums, the tabla, and then you can also think of Hanumanji in so many different ways. Sukshma Rupa, he becomes small, and then Vikata Rupa, he becomes big, and you can think of all of his stories and all of his leelas and kathas, and it's fun. It's really fun. So this gives us a lot of variety, so it makes it easy for us to hold on to when there's a stotra. Vishnu Sahasranama, we're chanting 1,000 different names, right? So therefore we have to focus, because after Vishnu, and then with the different names, we really have to focus. Imagine if you went to a fashion show and they wore the same clothes and they walked the same runway again and again and again and again. Would anybody watch that? No. Imagine eating the same food every day, again and again and again. Maybe some of us do that. Or wearing the same clothes every day, same clothes again and again and again. Right? It's hard for us to be changeless. So these hymns, these stutis are accessible to us because they're colorful. Now, subtler than that, the second level now is loud japa. Loud japa is when we are using our vocal cords and we are chanting the same mantra. Same. So if we're chanting Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram, Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram, again and again and again, or we chant Om Namah Shivaya, then again Om Namah Shivaya. Same mantra goes again and again and again. That is much harder. We have Shivaratri in Mumbai in our ashram. And on that day, 24 hours, there's non-stop chanting of Om Namah Shivaya. The different people lead it. And when you're sitting there, you're chanting loudly, you think 45 minutes has passed, but really it was just 5 minutes. It's not easy easy as we think. We're chanting the same thing loudly. That demands focus. Demands focus. Now, subtler than this is what? It's with our lips. Just moving our lips. Huh? So in loud japa, we say it's parashruti gochara. Other people can hear it. With our lips, it's just swa shruti gochara. Only we can hear it. Only we're just moving our lips. And that's subtler. That's subtler because there's no more voice coming out. Huh? And then subtler than that is when now even the lips stop, the mind is just focusing on the japa. Now when we are chanting loud or with our lips, we're focusing on the name. But when we are thinking with the mind, either you're dwelling on the form or on the nature, on a quality, but the thoughts, one after the other, one after the other, one after the other, they're all going to that alambana, to that support, that deity, that ishta. And this is how subtle it has to get. You see, when we think of creation, of how this whole world came to be, we in our shastra, we don't say it came from a big bang. Huh? For us, it's silence. So our source is silence. So there are 4 stages of speech. There's para, pashyanti, madhyama, and vaikhari. Para is in the Mooladhara. Means it's in its purest form. Para. Huh? Then it comes into the nabi, the stomach, pashyanti. That's slowly when we start to become aware that there's something there. Then madhyama. Then speech comes in the form of thought first, in our heart. Huh? You cannot speak what you didn't think about. It comes first as thought. And then only vaikhari, it expresses as sound through the throat. So actually speech has 4 stages of expression. It comes from silence to sound. This is the way any creation is expressed. Silence to sound. So in our sadhana, we want to go back to our source. We want to go back to where we came from. So sadhana always has to go from sound to silence. That's how sadhana has to happen. From sound to silence. And don't say, I'll start with silence first. Good luck, you're kidding yourself, right? The mind is going to go everywhere but where you want it to go. We start thinking about Bhagavan Shiva in Kailasha. Oh, it's so cold. I wonder if it's as cold as in New York. Oh my gosh, New York, I have so many things to do at work. Did I finish all my tasks yet? It will not stay. It will not stay. The mind will keep wandering. So go from gross to subtle. And the idea is when we start our japa, don't just stop in japa. Because japa is just a training exercise. It's like if you go to the gym and you do a warm-up and you come home. Anybody does that? No, you warm up and then you work out, right? Japa is the warm-up. It's a warm-up. The working out is the contemplation. Contemplative silence. So that also must be done. Okay? Now, he's going to say, what are the different types of contemplation? Now, if we do japa, what are the different ways we can contemplate doing japa? And what are the challenges associated with it? Okay? So let's go now to verse number 7. Ajyadharaya srotasa samam sarala chintanam viralatah param Ajya dharaya srotasa samam sarala chintanam viralata param. So here he says there are two types. There's sarala chintanam, which is uninterrupted contemplation. And there's virala chintanam, which is interrupted contemplation. So he says, sarala chintanam, the uninterrupted contemplation, samam, it is like ajya dharaya. It is like the stream of ghee. And it is also like srotasa. Srotasa means it is like the river. Like the river. And this sarala chintanam, it is better than viralata. Viralata param, meaning it is better than interrupted contemplation. So let's think about this for a moment. How is our contemplation? Is it interrupted or uninterrupted? All of us, right? Interrupted. So the vision is to have it uninterrupted, like ghee, pouring ghee. And what is it about pouring ghee? So when we pour ghee, not the frozen ghee that we get here. First you melt it, right? You melt it, and when you pour it, it's like one continuous flow. When you're pouring ghee, it's one continuous flow. If you've never poured ghee in your life, then in the temple, when they do abhisheka, when they pour water on the deity or they do it on Shivalinga, you see that it's one stream of water. It's not a splash. It's a continuous flow. So you must watch when they do that. That means they're telling us how to contemplate. So contemplation should be a continuous flow like ghee, like water, like abhisheka. Whatever you envision in your mind. Can you think of anything that's when you pour, it's a continuous, not alcohol, when you pour, that's a continuous flow? Can you think of anything? Honey. Okay, yeah. So there, when you think about it, think about this verse of Upadesha Sara. Continuous flow. And the example of the river is to tell us that that constant thought flow has to be effortless. Because if you see the flow of a river, it's not forced. The river's not putting any effort to flow. It's just nicely, easily flowing. Just going with the flow. So our contemplation has to be continuous and effortless. So if my mantra is on Krishna, let's say, so Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. So each thought goes into the next thought, goes into the next thought, and it's only that thought, not anything else. Now the question here is, our contemplation is not like this. It's far from like this. So what are we lacking? And how do we make our interrupted contemplation uninterrupted? How do we do that? So the first thing that we're lacking is love. We lack love. Because focus is only possible when we love what we're focusing on. So we are not able to focus on Bhagavan or Bhagavati because we love something else more than Bhagavan or Bhagavati. We do. We love something else more than Bhagavan. That's why we cannot think about Bhagavan continuously. Because something in the world is drawing us. We lack love. Please know we don't lack the potential to focus. In February, there is one day where everybody is super focused. What is that? Super Bowl Sunday. Huh? Everybody has maximum focus. That you won't even leave that TV. You won't leave it. Even for your children, you will not leave it. Huh? Oh, so that you're just there. Or when you watch a movie that you really like, super intently focused. Or your favorite show. Your favorite show, you're so lost in it that you don't even know it's the end already. And you're so bummed out that it's the end because you want to know what's going to happen next. Right? So when you're watching your favorite show, your favorite game, when you're doing something that you love, you get lost in it. You lose time. And the focus is like ghee. And it's like the river, isn't it? So we all have that potential to focus like ghee and like the river. But we're lacking that. That focus comes with love, and we're lacking that love. So what do? Stuti. Spend time listening to the stories of Bhagavan, the Leelas of Bhagavan, sing the bhajans of Bhagavan, sing the kirtan of Bhagavan. Get immersed in that form. Love that form, because that love of that form will take you to the formless ceaselessly, effortlessly. That love of the form will just take you beyond. Right? So the first issue we have is lack of love. We just don't love. And that's a fact. And it's okay. But if we spend more time surrounding ourselves with that, then we develop love. Another great way of developing love, we also saw, is yatra, tirtha, pilgrimage. When we go to a pilgrimage of that deity, that Ishta, where love becomes so incredibly strong. Very, very strong. So love. Second thing we lack is practice. Abhyasa. We lack practice. So it's not that we do japa or puja for 1 week and, it's not working out. Of course it's not working out. Because these practices take years. So just like how eating is so natural to you, right? Could you have ever imagined that you didn't know how to eat? At one point we didn't know how to eat. Walking is so natural for all of us in New York City. We walk so fast. But could you have imagined that there was a time we didn't know how to walk? And now we don't even think about it, we just walk. So all of these things, they didn't come magically. They came because we did it again and again and again and again. And we fell, we got them. We fell, we got them. And our parents had that beautiful patience to see us through it. So japa is also like that. So I'm sitting down and I'm holding my mala, and after 4 or 5 beats my mind is wandering. It's okay. It shows that we're putting forth effort, but we just have to keep working at it. Keep working at it. At least we're alert that the mind wandered. Now we can bring it back. Now just bring it back. Again, go. Mind wandered. Again, bring it back. Again, try. And it's important to do it every day, but not only every day, the same time every day. Because our bodies and our minds have a rhythm. And when they are in a rhythm, they accept things easily. So for example, if every day we eat lunch at 12, already at 12 o'clock my stomach knows, okay, it's going to get hungry. It's in the rhythm. It's going to get hungry, so easily I can eat. If I'm eating at 12 every day, easily at 12 o'clock I can eat. Because my stomach established that rhythm. If we're sleeping at 10:30 every day, easily we can sleep. Because the mind, the body is established in that rhythm. But if every day our timings are so different, so erratic, our body is totally out of rhythm. And it doesn't know what to do. Hard to sleep, not hungry, not to eat. So if we do it at the same time, there's a rhythm there. Already we know, 5 o'clock in the morning, sit. The mind is prepared for that rhythm. It's prepared. And the same day, every day, the same time, and same place. Same place, not the couch. When you sit on the couch, you're not going to feel like doing japa. Forget about it. You're going to want to watch TV, right? When you sit on the bed, you're going to want to sleep. So, keep a place where it makes you want to do japa. It inspires you to do it. Create an ambiance for yourself. When you invite guests to your home, don't you create a whole atmosphere for them? Right? Same way, create an atmosphere for a spiritual practice so that it's inviting for us. It's calling out to us. So the second thing is we lack practice. Third thing. Any guesses on what the third thing is or could be? Lack of purity. In our day-to-day life, if we did something wrong, we said something we shouldn't have said, if we yelled, if we screamed, if we made a big, huge mistake, if we fought with somebody, that mind cannot sit down and meditate because it's full of guilt. It has regret. It has all kinds of things in its mind that it cannot sit. It will only concentrate on what it should have done, what it could do, So this lack of purity in our day-to-day life makes it hard. To sit quietly for half an hour, we need to live an alert life for 23 and a half hours. And that's just the way it is. So alert living will also help us to keep our minds calm and serene, be able to go inward. And the same is true when we go inward, it helps us to lead a life that is calm and serene. So we lack that purity. And that can be solved through alert living. Just being alert. Spirituality is very easy. It is being present. When I am present, then I do my dharma well. Dharma is a root. And when we are present with everybody, we do our duties very well. Very, very well. So that is our sadhana. That's our sadhana. The fourth one is we lack integration. What does this mean? We lack trying to integrate this practice of holding one thought for an extended period of time in other fields of our life. So, if I want to be able to sit and meditate and hold a thought continuously, without interruption, in my day-to-day life, I must be able to do that with other things also. It's not that I'll be distracted with other things and then in meditation I can I can expect to be totally not distracted. But it doesn't work like that. It has to seep in through my day-to-day life. So what does that mean? If I'm eating, just eat. Just eat. If I'm reading something, just read. If I am replying to a message, just reply. Can I develop that ability to just be intently focused on whatever I'm doing at hand? Let me at least start that habit. Let me start that habit so it carries on to everything that I do. And then when I'm sitting down, becomes easy. And what is the fifth thing we lack? We lack surrender. We're constantly thinking, what is the future going to hold? What is the future? How is it going to be? How is that going to be? Whatever is going to happen, will happen. There's a beautiful plan that's going to unfold. We need not worry about it. Just let it go. Just let it go and trust that there's a divine plan out there. And everything will work out. It always does, isn't it? We go through lots of ups and downs in life. All of us have been through that. But at the end, everything always works out. Doesn't it? Works out. So if we work on these 5 things, then it's going to be easier to sit down. But more importantly, it will spiritualize our life. If we work on, what's the first one? Love. If we work on loving our Ishta Devata, our mind becomes pure, more divine. What's the second one? Practice. If we constantly practice, at some point it will become so natural to us. Just like walking. What's the third point? Purity. If we are alert in our transactional life, do our dharma to the best of our abilities, we will benefit, everybody will benefit. What's the fourth one? Integration. We start integrating this practice in all parts of our life. We will have more meaningful relationships with your spouses, with your children, with your co-workers. More meaningful relationships. What's the fifth one? Surrender. Everyone will be carefree. What can we do? We can't control what's going to happen. Just sit, have faith, accept, be cheerful like the sun. So in this way, that virala, interrupted contemplation becomes Sara, uninterrupted contemplation. And how it goes from stuti, singing the hymns, through loud japa, through japa, just moving the lips, through mental japa. Okay? Today we stop here. Anybody have any questions or thoughts from today? Is this clear?
Just one question.
Yes.
This last point about surrender. Is that basically what you call faith?
Yeah.
Or like is one a prerequisite for the other? Or
Faith is surrender. Because see, surrender means I have faith that everything will work out, Bhagavan will take care of me. You see, who's a bhakta? A bhakta is not one who loves Bhagavan only. A bhakta is one who knows that I love Bhagavan and Bhagavan loves me. So he will take care of me. That's a true bhakta. When you say, I love Bhagavan, many people can say that. But I love Bhagavan and Bhagavan loves me. So he's going to take care of me. That is what you call faith in Bhagavan. And that faith enables us to surrender. We should all feel this. Yeah. Yes.
For people who kind of lack all 5 of those things, what's the kind of easiest, most basic way to start?
Satsang. Keeping the company of the wise. Being in the midst of spiritual texts with spiritual people. Satsang is the easiest way. They say satsang is like an escalator. Huh? You just ride, it'll take you up. That's how powerful satsang is. You'll just change naturally, just keeping the company of spiritual people. Yeah?
Yeah, just I guess more of a myself started to feel a little defensive in that I was thinking, is it a lack of love that I don't want to sit down and think about God and focus in that moment? But then I was thinking, in a way it's true, maybe a softer way I'm explaining it to myself is a lack of priority, because it's not that it's not important to think about work or family or not to love those things, but it just then takes away from this time that we have, to focus on God and to have that inner reflection. So I don't know if that's fair to say, or think of it in that way, as sort of we're not prioritizing taking this time to just sit and focus on thinking of our Ishtadev and going deeper.
Right. So see, we must not separate God from family. So when we are, sadhana should never be separated. Okay, this is my sadhana time. So what I must think is that form of Bhagavan is with me. When I'm sitting quietly, I'm thinking of Bhagavan with my eyes closed. But when my eyes are open, my work is for Bhagavan. Bhagavan is there in my family. My family is a form of Bhagavan. My friends are a form of Bhagavan. This whole world is a form of Bhagavan. So I'm never away. I'm never away. So instead of seeing why am I not, being able to close my eyes, just see it that every transaction I'm uniting with Bhagavan. Every transaction, every way, every method, I am uniting with Bhagavan. So then sitting quietly becomes easier. Because outside you're seeing Bhagavan and inside also you're seeing Bhagavan. And you're never away from it. So spirituality is never separate. Spirituality is it's a life. It's your life. It's never separate. It's just your whole life. Actually. Okay. Yeah.
I had the same question as surrender. Sometimes it's hard.
Sometimes it's hard, but let me tell you a little secret, which I also told you all before. You have no option but to surrender. You have no option. Because who you think will win at the end of the day? God will win, right? So what is your option? You choose when to surrender. If you choose to surrender in the beginning, you'll have a lot of peace. If you choose to surrender in the middle, you'll be a little disturbed. And if you choose to surrender in the end, you'll be heavily disturbed. So you have no option but to surrender. Your only option is when to surrender. You might as well do it in the beginning. Make it easy for you.
No, I'm saying that things are going well. It's easy to surrender. When things go bad and really bad, or you lose someone, and then you say, "Oh, I'm going to surrender." Well, my mind is turbulent.
Yeah.
I lost faith in God, and I lost faith in the way things are going in the divine plan, not going in the divine plan as it should.
Right.
Then how do you?
See, there are some things that we don't know, right? There's the role of karma. And that also has its play in the way situations are. So we might not understand it now. And especially when there's a loss, it can be very, very difficult. But things don't happen randomly. But there is a reason why it had happened that way. And if we are able to just have faith that whatever has happened was how it had to be, that will give us a lot of peace. Give us a lot of peace. You don't need to, it's hard, it's difficult, but that surrender will give us a lot of peace. And you will see too. One nice activity to do, you just look at your lives. You see every single thing that happened. And you try to connect the dots to today. You will see that everything had to happen the way it had to happen. You will see. There's a reason why things had to happen that way. And then you'll understand that there's a bigger plan. See, when we take something by the piece, it looks very bad. If we look at the Ramayana, Manthara went to Kaikai and said, you know, Kaikai, you must banish Sri Rama from the forest. I mean, banish him to the forest. It looks very bad. You just take one incident, it looks very bad. But if you just back up and look at the whole picture, that was very good actually. Because Sri Rama got to defeat Ravana. Right? So you think is that bad? Actually, it was quite good that that happened. So oftentimes when we look at the piece, it looks very bad. Very bad. But when you look at the whole picture, then you understand, okay, I see. This is why it had to happen like that. So that comes in time. The ability to step back and say, now I look at the picture. Somebody sent me Steve Jobs' commencement speech. That he dropped out of college. And at that time also he didn't understand what was this, he dropped out of college. But then he started taking classes in calligraphy. And that's where he made the typeface for Apple. So he said later on then I understood why this had happened. And this is, everything actually worked out. I was able to connect the dots. So, like that, we have to trust that the dots will connect when we look at the bigger picture. Okay. Stop here today. Then when we meet next, we'll continue to the next verses. Now what is your homework? Memorize. Memorize Upadesha Sara. Until verse 7 at least. Okay? For graduation, we're all going to chant Upadesha Sara by heart. There's going to be no projector at all. I don't like this projector business where people are looking at words and all. That's not our culture. Our culture is by heart. Okay? So by heart it. Alright? Okay. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om. And remember Makara Sankranti on Tuesday.